Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
how are you?
I'm fine,
Good
thank you.
afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too. So,
Thank you.
are you ready for today?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah,
How are
Thank
you,
you.
Basildon?
Thank
Hey,
you.
are you sleep deprived today too?
Not
no.
so much.
Not so much. Okay, yeah, of course. You are sleep deprived all the time because of your job. No, I understand. Okay, so, are you
Mhm.
ready for today's class?
Yes,
Okay, so
I'm ready.
you were supposed to review and also find out what it means to use present perfect with will, okay, without getting
Mhm.
help from anyone. Okay, so please start. Let's start with the review and then we'll go to present perfect.
Mhm.
Okay.
Present perfect. Okay. The title is I Had a Hammer, and this
If I had a
context.
hammer, right? If I had a
If I
hammer,
had a
yes.
and this context
Mhm,
was about
mhm,
some prefabricated buildings,
yes.
and the next one is trendy. The
Yes.
next word is trendy.
Mhm,
Trendy is an adjective, and
mhm,
it means the latest fashion or
mhm.
up to date. The
No,
next one.
Shirin. Up to dated? No, up to date. Up to date is an adjective, okay? Because a lot of learners, English learners, have problem with this. Let me clarify this one. Okay, see, up to date. There's a hyphen between the three parts. Up to date. It's an adjective. The verb form is update. Okay, then you can add ed to the verb. For example, it is updated. The data on this website is updated. Or, for example, the data on this website is up to date. Okay, what is the opposite of up to date?
Up to date.
Out of date.
Very
Out
good,
of date.
excellent, yes. Out of date. And what is the verb form?
Outdate.
Very good, excellent, yes. Outdate. Okay.
The next one is to start with in spoken language. It's use it to say and to emphasize the first of a list,
Yes.
or the first facts or opinion.
Yes.
And the next one is inhabitant.
Yes.
I looked it up in the dictionary, and I found this means this meaning or means.
This means, or the meaning is, you can say both.
People and one of the people who live in a particular place.
Yes.
But we Besat said the last session, people and all creatures.
Yes, yes. First of all, Sharon, it's creature. The verb is create, okay? But the noun form is creature. And Bezat is correct, yes. Sometimes when you look up a word in a dictionary, in that entry of the dictionary, the particular dictionary that you're using, you don't find all the definitions. If you want to know if inhabitant means other creatures too, you can just search this, Google it. Google, what does inhabitant include? Can we call animals inhabitants, for example? Because these are very commonly asked questions and you can easily find them on the web. Inhabitant does mean both human and animals, all creatures. But the other word that was only for human beings was resident. And of course, resident is for human beings. But if you're speaking figuratively, استعاری که دارید صحبت میکنید and you want to use figures of speech as آرایه های ادبی استفاده کنید, sometimes you can refer to a non-human being and call them resident of somewhere. Okay? But generally speaking, resident in formal and common language spoken by native people is only human beings, inhabitants, all creatures. Okay, but of course, I'm very happy that you look up every word and expression that we say here. That is really great. And if you go and find that, for example, inhabitant doesn't mean that, it is completely okay. Just say it in the class and we can check. As far as I know, I can say that it is that. It means that. Okay.
Thank you. The next one.
Shirin, how do you pronounce people?
People.
Yes.
Me or
People.
Shirin?
She said, no, Shirin said people.
People. No, it's not people.
Yes.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
Shirin, after between p at the end and l, like this, let me type it. There is no okay? So you have to pronounce two consonants, p and l. People. And sometimes, because it's hard, you might hear people say people. It's not all, in fact, but when you pronounce it fast, you might hear o, but never never okay? It's people, people. People.
Okay.
Yes. Don't try to say
the
oh.
next.
Don't try to say oh. Just try to pronounce pl without any vowels, but then the o is created somehow. So people.
People.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
The next one is constituent.
Constituent. Yes. Yes. Very good.
It's one of a group of organization or one of the part of some organization عضو تشکیل دهنده or بخش‌های تشکیل دهنده.
It doesn't have to be an organization. It could be a whole of something. Just part of a whole is a constituent of that thing.
And the next one is prefabricated.
Yes.
It's an adjective. Fabricate as a noun, it means to make
as a verb.
or produce.
As a verb, yes.
As a verb.
Yes.
It means to make or produce some equipment or something. It's the synonym of manufacture.
Very good, excellent.
And prefabricated, it's something that you fabricate before and you just assemble or
yes, you reassemble them. Yes.
Reassemble them. Yes. And the next one is constructed. It's an adjective and
constructed what? Okay. Yes.
In this context, it means it's the part of a speech is an adjective, but construct as a noun, it means
you mean as a verb?
Something.
No.
As a verb.
I'm asking. I don't know which one you mean.
As a noun. As a noun. Something that is built
wait,
or
Shirin.
made.
If you want to say it as a noun, then the stress is on the first syllable, construct. Okay? If it's a verb, the stress is on the second syllable, construct. Like perfect and perfect. Construct is a noun. Okay, go on.
Construct.
Yes.
It means something that is built or made. The synonym of the synonym is construction.
Yes, exactly.
The next one is on site. Site, it means location.
No. Wait. Shirin, focus.
Site means.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Site means location.
Yes.
And on site is an adjective. And at the place or on some special area.
Shirin, in the middle of your speech, you said چجوری بگم. Now say that in English. How do you say چجوری بگم in English?
how to say?
No.
No.
How can I put it?
Very good. How can I put it? Very good. Excellent. Or if you want to say how to say, you should say, I don't know how to say it. Or how can I put it? How can I put it is talking to yourself. You're not actually asking me. You're talking to yourself. Okay. Go on. On site.
And the next one is once. It's an conjugation.
Conjugation.
And, conjugation.
Are you sure? Conjugation. Conjunction.
Conjunction.
You know, because the word conjugation also exists. It's the noun form of conjugate, which means صرف کردن. صرف کردن. But it's a conjunction, yes.
And it in this context means when.
When, yes, very good. Yes.
And the last one is comparable. It's an adjective, and when something is similar to something else in size or number, quality, and something like that, and you can compare, you can comparison them.
You can compare them. Okay, comparison is the noun. You can compare them. Yes, you can compare them. Okay. Sharon, is it comparing to something or with something? Which one? Which one do we say?
Both of them.
Both of them. Both of them. Yes, but there is a difference. Bezat is making up for the time lost in the last session. Right? What does it mean to make up for the time lost or for the lost time?
To make up for means to
yes,
compensate.
Very good. Yes, exactly. جبران کردن, compensate. Yes. So compare to, compare with. What is the difference?
Compare with, compare to.
Is what? What did you say? Okay. Okay.
Compare with, maybe when you want to compare two things, you use compare with.
No. I'll give you an example. Based on the example, guess the difference. When you compare, okay, what was your expertise? It was pediatrician, right? Is that the name? Pediatrician. Name another expertise, please, in medicine.
Pediatrician.
Something else.
Or internist, or for example, oncology.
Oncology. Okay, that's the noun. So when you compare pediatrician to oncology, okay, let me put it another way.
Pediatrician is the one who is specialized in the field of pediatrics.
Okay. Pediatrician is the noun or not? I'm not sure about this one.
No, pediatrician is the noun. Yes.
Okay.
Pediatrician with an oncologist.
Okay, because I don't know who an oncologist is. Let me make another example because I don't know what oncology means. But for example, Shirin.
For example, oncologist international. Oncologist international. Oncology international.
I see. Okay, because I don't know much about them, then I cannot give you a good example. Let me put it another way. I'll give you another example. Shirin, you studied nutrition and sports, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Physiology.
Physiology, that was the name. Okay. When you compare medicine to physiology, you find some similarities. In medicine and physiology, people can work together. Students of medicine and physiology, when you compare students of medicine to students of physiology, you find out that they study some similar books, for example.
Mhm.
If
Yes.
you compare students of medicine to students
Mhm.
of engineering, excuse me, if you compare students of medicine with students of engineering, you find
Mhm.
out that they have nothing or not much in common.
Yes.
Okay, maybe that was not a good example, but could you find out the difference between compare to and compare with?
Yes. In the first example, you emphasize or you wanted to say the similarities
Mhm.
between the two.
Yes, very good.
But the next one was about the differences and
You
Mhm.
cannot find
The
it.
similarities, yes, very good. Yes. Do you know any expressions about comparing people, comparing things, saying that something can be compared to something or cannot be compared?
Mm. Expression.
expression.
I think you know this. I'll give you an example. It involves
یه چیزی گفته بودی
two
way.
fruits, apples and oranges.
آها.
What is it? I think you heard this before.
Oranges.
Yes, apples and oranges. You tell someone, okay, you're comparing apples and oranges. What does it mean?
یعنی
What does it mean?
it means که مثلا سیب رو با پرتقال مقایسه نمی‌کنن.
So, yes, so they're not similar. The things that you're comparing are not similar. You're comparing apples and oranges. دو تا چیز بی ربط رو دارید به هم ربط میدید. You're comparing apples and oranges. What else do you know? What other expression about comparing do you know?
In English,
Of course, yeah. Like, let me give you a hint. When you want to say that something or someone is so good at their job that someone else in the same field cannot be compared to them. In Farsi, we say به گرد پاشم نمیرسه. How do you say that? It doesn't have to be two people. It doesn't have to involve two people. You could compare two things too.
نمی‌دونم.
I'll give you a hint. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe you've heard this. It involves a candle.
Candle.
Yes.
Candle means sham.
Yes. And hold. And also hold. The word hold. No?
No comment.
No comments. Okay. We say, for example, someone cannot hold a candle to someone else. To hold a candle to someone. Oh, sorry, it was Farsi. To hold a candle to someone. Haven't you heard this before?
No.
No?
To hold a
Yes.
candle to someone.
There's a story behind this, you know, when someone was an expert in something, like manufacturing something. In the old days, in ancient times, they had novices or people who worked for them, with them, as their students. They had to hold the candle so that the teacher, the professor, that expert could work, could see the light to work. So when someone cannot hold a candle to someone, it means به گرد پاش نمیرسه. For example,
Cannot hold a
yes,
candle.
yes, cannot. It's used in negative forms. Yes. For example, this car cannot hold a candle to BMW. این ماشین به گرد پای اونم نمیرسه از نظر چیزا. Or some person, a politician. This politician cannot hold a candle to Mr. Blah Blah. Okay. She cannot hold a candle to him or her or her teacher or her neighbor or her sister, anything. متوجه داستان پشتش شدید؟
نه.
چرا؟ یعنی مثلا اون کسی که خیلی فاصله داره از اون استاده هنر کنه، شم و نگر داره که اون استاده کارشو بکنه. این یعنی شم هم نمیتونه نگر داره.
آره در این حد. آفرین. چون تو زمانهای قدیم بوده اون استادکاره مثلا توی جای تاریکی باید فرضاً یه چیز فنی رو انجام میداده، شاگرد اون ناوسه باید مثلا شمی رو نگه میداشته براش. در این حد بوده. حالا اون کس ما میگیم به گرد پاش نمیرسه، برای خودمون جا افتاده است، ولی خب به خود عجیب غریبه این. و اونها میگن شم هم نمیتونه نگه، در این حد هم نیست که حتی بخواد شم نگه داره کنار این استاده مثلا کارش انجام بده. یعنی در اصلا قابل مقایسه نیستن، بخواید اینجوری بگید. با این قابل مقایسه نیست. توی سطح نیستن که شما بخواید مثلا تفاوت‌ها و شباهت‌هاشون رو بگید در این حد. Okay. So was that the end of it? Shireen, was that the last part?
Yes.
Okay. Did you understand the future perfect form, will plus have plus past participle?
Yes.
Okay.
It's about, but I have a question.
Yes.
I studied the lesson 11
Yes.
On the grammar book.
Yes.
And you mentioned that in this book we have to had a particular time when we want to use this structure.
Yes, this tense.
But this tense. But I can't. I couldn't find the particular time in this context.
You mean in the magazine, in The Economist, in this paragraph? Okay.
Yes.
The particular time does not mean, for example, July 21st. It doesn't mean that. Okay? Although in this paragraph they do mention the time. Where is the time? There was a time mentioned. Let me check. Neighborhood will be unusual to start with. All the inhabitants will previously have been homeless. Okay. Here. The last line.
In July?
Yes, in July. July is the time when they finish this. Okay, when they finish this. That's the particular time. But you don't have to mention an exact time, like July 21st. Okay, just a time when, for example, the audience knows, or it's mentioned somewhere. Maybe before they talk, maybe people who read this article know, but in here you can see July, in July. Was that the only question? Or do you have any other questions too?
Yes, I have another question.
Okay.
And
for example, can we say next year at this time we will have been in Australia?
We will have been in Australia. See, future perfect is used for things that will be finished by a time in the future. Okay, as far as I know, they're about these things. Look at this paragraph, for example, the first paragraph. All the future forms are future perfect except for the last one. The project will cost 25%. They didn't use future perfect for this because they're just talking about the cost, not finishing something. All the other things are about finishing something before some time in the past. And being somewhere, in my view, being somewhere, for example, being in Australia is not finishing something. It's just stating a fact. We will be here, we will be there. Okay? It's not a process to be finished. For example, in here you see with previous...
Another example.
Yes. What example?
Excuse me. For example, you see a tower
Yes.
that, for example, people are building this tower, and there's a timeline that reads it will be finished. It will have been finished by 2020.
Yes. Okay, that is correct, of course.
That's correct.
That's correct. About the example you gave, as far as I know, it must be about, as you put it, a process, something that takes time to finish. I think so. Okay. It seems very strange to me to say we will have been in Australia. Okay, unless you want to mention something else. For example, you go to Australia right now, and 1 year from now, it's been a year. So you want to mention the fact that it will be 1 year since you went there. Then you can use it, in my view. We will have been in Australia for a year by next year this time. متوجه شدید؟ یعنی اگه بخواید بودنتون رو طولش رو بگید، مثلا الان تشریف میبرید استرالیا، سال دیگه این موقع 1 سال از بودنتون در استرالیا خواهد گذشت. این رو اگه بخواید بگید میتونید با future perfect بگید، چون یه پروسسیه دیگه. Next year, this time next year, we will have been in Australia for 1 year. سال دیگه این موقع 1 ساله که ما تو استرالیاییم. اوکی؟ اما رسیدنتون به اونجا هیچ چیز تمام شدنی نیست. برای این میگم که اگه یه جایی توی کانتکستی مثلا دیدید فعل بی رو اومده فیوچر پرفکت گفته، ببینید چی رو داره دقیقاً میگه. این که من گفتم به نظرم عجیبه، فکر نکنید هر جایی فعل بی رو بگیم اشتباهه. چی رو داره میگه؟ یه چیزی تا یه جایی، از یه جایی تا یه جای دیگه طول میکشه. چی هست؟ قضیهش چیه؟ مثلا اینجا نگاه کنید تو همین پاراگراف. To start with, all the inhabitants of its 146 units will previously have been homeless. این فعلش بیه، ولی چرا present perfectه؟ میخواد بگه از یه زمانی در گذشته تا زمانی که اینها اسکان داده بشن توی این ساختمون هوملس بودن. این هوملس بودنشون یه پروسسی بوده. خب ولی وقتی به اینجا اسکان داده بشن دیگه هوملس نیستن، دیگه تموم میشه. به هوملس بودنشون پایان داده میشه. فینیش بودن قضیه‌ای که با فیوچر پرفکت در اینجا مطرح شده هوملس بودن این هاست. از قبلش هوملس بودن تا زمانی که خواهند بود، تا زمانی که بیان اینجا اسکان داده بشن. مورد بعدی will have been prefabricated، یعنی این جولای که کار این ساختمان تموم بشه پریفابریکیشنش هم تموم شده. حالا یا همین حالا در حال پریفابریکیشنه یا یه زمانی شروع شد، تا اون موقع تموم خواهد شد. اصلا حتی ممکنه این پروژه هنوز شروع نشده باشه، بر اساس برنامه ریزی در آینده یه تایمی شروع میشه و بعد تا جولای که اینجا ذکر شده پریفابریکیشنش هم تموم میشه. فیت شدن توگدرش آن سایت هم تموم میشه. بعد دیگه چه چیزی داریم؟ will have been cheap. اینجا بذارید ببینم. Most unusually the project will have been cheap to build, at least by Bay Area standards. این رو باید بهش فکر کنم. And fitted together on site like puzzle pieces. Most unusually the project will have been cheap to build, at least by Bay Area standards. Found that once completed the project will cost will have been cheap. توضیح برای این ندارم الان، چیزی به ذهنم نمیرسه، باید بهش فکر کنم. حالا منظور چیه که
سوالی
جانم
من توی ویل هیچ قطعیتی وجود نداره، درسته؟
توی ویلی که برای سیمپل به کار میبریم قطعیتی وجود نداره.
توی این قطعیت وجود داره یا نه اگر برنامه درست پیش بره این اتفاق خواهد
آره دیگه همون که برنامه ها درست پیش بره. مثلا شما شروع میکنید تحصیلاتتون رو توی یه رشته دانشگاهی که 4 سال بعد باید بهتون لیسانس بدن. سال اولتونه و برای 4 سال بعد رو پیش بینی میکنید. خب مسلمه که اگه همه چیز درست پیش بره است دیگه 4 سال دیگه من لیسانس خواهم داشت یا 4 سال دیگه این موقع من graduate خواهم بود. I will have been graduated.
مثلا امروز فردا یه امتحانی داریم و مثلا میگیم فردا این ساعت راحت شدم. خب این هم میتونیم بگیم؟
بله، چون ناراحتی شما به خاطر امتحان از حالا هست تا اون موقع. I will have been relieved tomorrow by this time. چرا که نه؟ الان من دارم به این چیپ فکر میکنم. شما نظری دارید راجبش که چرا این الان پرفکت شده؟ Will have been cheap to build.
کجاست؟
آها نمیدش. بذارید من اینجا دوباره
will have been cheap.
پر رنگش کردم. Will have been cheap to build. Will have been cheap to build. فعل ما اینجا be هست. cheap که اینجا صفتشه. ولی در مورد ارزان خواهد بود. At least by will have been cheap to build. اینو باید بهش فکر کنم. خب توضیح برای اینش ندارم. توضیح من برای استرالیا رفتنتون در اون زمان این بود. یک مثال دیگه هم در مورد استرالیا رفتنتون هست. مثلا اگه بخواید به فرود هواپیما اشاره کنید. مثلا الان سوار هواپیما میشید. فرض کنیم 10 ساعت دیگه توی سیدنی بر فرض فرود میایید. خب الان که سوار شدید یا اینکه نه قبلش حالا هر چی پیش بینیتون برای اون موقع است. میتونید بگید که tomorrow at 11 we will have landed. اینطوری میتونید بگید. یعنی حالا هستید تا اون موقع که لند کنید دیگه. تموم میشه. یا we will have reached Sydney airport. تا اون موقع دیگه رسیدیم به فرودگاه سیدنی. در مورد چیپ حالا من الان چیزی تو ذهنم نیست بخوام توضیحش بدم. ولی این رو هم می نویسم. اون سوالی هم که اون دفعه پرسید برای کلاس آیلتس هم همچنان دنبالش هستم برای توضیح. اون دفعه جوابتون رو ندادم چون هنوز توضیح خوبی پیدا نکرده بودم. این رو هم می نویسم. اگه خودتون هم نظری داشتید حتما بگید.
Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. Okay, what else?
یه سوالی توی یکی از این in one of the example it mentioned at the time at 5 p.m.
It's mentioned. It's mentioned. Yes.
Mentioned. I wrote, for example, this example. The meeting is taking place at 6 p.m.
Okay.
But in the answer, it was the meeting will take. اینجا مگه تایم مشخص نشده.
Which one is it? Which one is it in the exercises or in the explanations?
In the exercises.
Okay, let me find it. Which part of the exercises? The first part? The meeting?
Page 345.
345. Okay. You will have clean room. The meeting. I don't have. Okay, number 8. The meeting blank place at 6 p.m. Future simple positive. Okay, that's because of the title, Shireen. The title of the exercise is future simple positive. ببینید یه سری تمرین فقط برای تمرین یک تنسه. اصلا واسه این نیست که بگیم یه تنس خاص دیگه به کار نمیره. چون عنوان تمرین این بود که همه این موارد رو future simple بنویسید با will و positive باشه بعد اینجوری می نوشتید. قضیه‌اش اینه فقط.
یه ایرادی هم توش پیدا کردم on page 363.
Okay, wait. 363. Yes, what is it?
Number 14.
14, yes.
It's written. It is written. His exams, but in the answer, he typed her exam.
14, I don't find this. I can't find 14. He finished his exams, that one? He finished his exams when he will go on holiday? Is that it?
To jawab her exam, next page.
Okay, let me find. When he finished exams, we go on holiday. Okay. I can't find this. Maybe because I have the corrected version after yours. I don't have this on this one. But thank you very much. I see a question mark in here. Maybe we did this. Maybe we corrected this. That's why. But thank you. If you see anything else anymore, please tell us. Thank you very much.
No. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
What else?
That was nothing.
Nothing. That was it. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So the second half of the paragraph. Okay. Bezat, would you please read the paragraph? The first sentence.
Yes. That is an achievement in California where per unit construction costs for supposedly
the pronunciation
supposedly
yes.
Yeah. Supposedly affordable housing have ballooned since 2000.
Yes, very good. So that is an achievement. What does achievement mean in here? That is an achievement.
Achievement, we say it a lot in medicine. For example, when you do or when you save a patient, we say that was a big achievement.
Very good. How do you say it in Farsi?
And دستاورد بزرگی بود.
Very good, very good. So that is an achievement in California where per unit construction costs for supposedly affordable housing have ballooned since 2000. Per unit construction costs. What does it mean?
The cost of construction per unit.
What's a unit?
Unit, it's a building or a flat.
Not a building, but a flat apartment.
Apartment.
Yes, apartment. Yes, very good. Okay, go on.
The cost of construction an apartment is
okay, wait. Now we'll read the rest of the sentence.
Has increased a lot.
Has increased a lot. For supposedly affordable housing. What does supposedly mean?
Supposedly affordable housing, maybe it's going to talk about mediocre apartments.
No, the word supposedly. What does that mean? No.
Supposedly affordable.
Yes.
Kind of apartment that
just
is
supposedly.
Affordable.
But it's just the word supposedly. The word supposedly.
فرض کردن.
But it's not a verb. It's an adverb in here.
فرضی.
You're close, but no. No. The meaning is different from the verb. Yes.
Supposedly affordable housing.
Yes. In here, supposedly as an adjective means apparently. It doesn't mean to suppose something. It means apparently. It means that when someone says supposedly, they don't actually believe this. Okay? They say that that's what people think, but I don't think so. Okay? That's why I use supposedly. Supposedly. And some language learners, and of course even natives who are not very much literate, pronounce it supposedly. If you watch Friends, you might remember it from that episode from the first season. Do you?
Which one?
The one where their downstairs neighbor, Mr. something, who is single, passes away, and they inherit, all these friends inherit his stuff. And Chandler and Joey are talking, and Chandler says, okay, I'm afraid that maybe I will meet a girl, a perfect girl, and then if she pronounces supposedly, then I say, okay, she's stupid and I cannot be friends with them, and then I will end up alone. Okay, if you haven't watched this part, then you can't remember. But supposedly, yes, means apparently. Supposedly, apparently. It means where per unit construction costs for supposedly affordable housing. Now, supposedly affordable housing, it means that the writer does not think that these housings are affordable. People call it affordable, yes. But in his view, it's not. That's why they say supposedly.
Or apparently.
Yes, apparently. Yes, apparently. در واقع در ظاهر affordable هستن. یعنی من باورم این هست که در واقع affordable نیستن. برای این construction های در ظاهر affordable. Supposedly affordable. Supposedly affordable housing, okay, have balloons. So that is an achievement. The first paragraph talked about it. In California, where per unit construction costs for supposedly affordable housing have ballooned. So what have ballooned?
The cost.
Very good. So the costs have ballooned. What does it mean to balloon?
The balloon means have increased markedly.
Yes, very good, very good. Increased remarkably, yes. Okay, would you please read the rest? They are?
Yes, they are now the highest in the country.
Yes, that's more explanation why they're not affordable. Okay, please read the next line.
Yes, subsidies for below market rate housing come with strings attached.
Yes. Subsidies, you know the meaning of subsidies, right?
Yeah, subsidy.
Yes. What is the verb form?
To
subside.
No.
To subsidies to
subsidize. Subsidize is the verb. For example, is this subsidized? سوبسید بهش تعلق میگیره. No, it's not subsidized, for example. Subsidies for below market rate housing. What is the part of a speech of below market rate?
Adjective.
Yes. And what is the Farsi equivalent? Below market rate.
Below market rate housing یعنی ساختمان‌های
Just below market rate, not the rest.
Below market rate. زیر قیمت بازار.
Very good, excellent, yes. Below market rate. زیر قیمت بازار. Come with strings attached. This is an expression. Do you know the meaning of this expression?
Come with strings attached. No.
Okay. Do you know the meaning of strings?
Strings means a
Very good. Yes, like a thread. Yes, as you put it, Shirin. Yeah, they could be a chain. It could be a chain. Yes, strings attached, and you know the meaning of attached. I'll give you an example, and I want you to understand or guess the meaning of strings attached. Money from parents always comes with strings attached. Hello?
So?
Okay.
Yes.
What is the meaning? Money from parents comes with strings attached. Yes.
یعنی با احتیاط باید مصرف کنی؟
No. No.
چرا؟
strings attached انگار یه نخی بهش وصله.
Very good.
همینجوری بده بره.
آفرین. Very good. Bravo. Yes. It means that there is an expectation on the other side. It's not free. You know, it's not free. It's like a trap. You know the meaning of trap, right? There are strings attached to a trap. T-R-A-P, trap.
Yes.
Yes, yes. There are strings attached to, for example, a trap that you install for a bird. You attach a string, and when the bird goes to eat the prey, you pull the strings, and then you can hunt them.
Yes.
Okay. So when something comes with strings attached, it means that it seems free, it seems easy, but it actually isn't. You should look at the strings and see where it's connected to or who it's connected to. Okay?
Yes.
So strings attached.
Yeah.
In here we have subsidies. Subsidies for below market rate housing come with strings attached. It means, you know what subsidies is. Subsidies is money from the government, okay? You want to build a building, they give you subsidies, but it's not free. It comes with strings attached. You have to do something that they want. Okay, I want you to make a sentence with this expression.
It means that it is free, but
seems free.
Ahmadinejad and Rouhani
Yes,
are
yes.
behind the scene.
Yes, very good. Yes, they're behind the scenes. Yes. Okay, if you touch it, then they will pull the strings and you will be trapped. So don't touch it.
Yeah.
It comes with strings attached. Yes. So make a sentence, please. Shirin, you too.
To come.
Yes. They want something in return. It's not what it seems. For example, if your parents give you money, usually it comes with strings attached. It means that if they give you money, then they have to live the way they want you to. So it comes with strings attached.
Loan,
Excuse me?
for example, loan.
No, it's not a loan.
Mortgage.
Oh, is that your example? Is that your example?
Yes.
Oh, okay, go on, go on.
Mortgage for buying a house come with strings attached.
Yes, comes, because mortgage is just one, comes with strings attached, yes. You have to pay the interest. The interest rate is so high, so it's not easy money. That's very good. Is that you?
Yes. این خونه‌ای که ساختمان مهر می‌گفتن مسکن مهر. If you want to buy a مسکن مهر building,
okay, what do you call it in English? مسکن مهر.
I don't know.
It's a development. به این خونه‌های مسی که توسط یک کانترکتور ساخته میشه میگن development. Okay, مسکن مهر development. Yes. If you want to buy an apartment in مسکن مهر developments, yes.
If you want to buy an apartment in مسکن مهر development, you must be careful because they come with subsidies, but
they come with strings attached.
They come with strings attached.
Yes. They're actually supposedly affordable housings, right? Maskan Mehr is supposedly affordable, but it actually comes with strings attached because after 100 years, you are no more the owner or things like that. Yes, very good. You're a renter there, not an owner. Okay, so subsidies for below market rate housing come with strings attached. Okay, go on.
Affordable developments that take public funds may be forced to install solar panels, contract with small businesses, or enlarge balcony spaces.
Okay, wait. So, affordable developments that take public funds. Affordable development, see, that is the word we just said. A development is a group of buildings that are all built by just one contractor. The contractor of Maskan Mehr is one organization, one company. It could be one person or one company. Okay? So, affordable developments that take public funds. What's a public fund?
Public funds, it's a kind of maybe loan for constructing the building.
Yeah, like subsidies, yes. These are funds that the government give you, public funds. They help you make it cheaper. May be forced to install, okay, before we go there, we get to that part. May be forced. Can you explain this part to me? May be forced. Is it may be forced or may be forced? And what is the voice of this sentence?
May be forced.
What is the tense? What is be? What is may?
It is simple.
To be.
Simple present, but it is majhul passive.
Passive. Very good. Very good. Okay. They may force them. They may be forced. Yes. To install solar panels. You know solar panels, right?
Yes.
Contract with small businesses. What is this? What are small businesses?
Contract with small businesses.
Contract in here is a verb. What does it mean?
قرارداد.
Excuse me? You broke up. Say it again, please. What is...
قرارداد بستن.
Yes, to sign a contract. I mean, yes. To contract as a verb means to sign a contract. Yes. And there's a good translation for small businesses in Farsi. What is it?
صنایع کوچک.
Very good. کسب و کارهای کوچک. Or enlarge balcony space. You know the meaning of enlarge, right?
Yes.
What is the part of a speech of enlarge?
It's a verb.
Yes. En is a prefix that you can add or attach to an adjective and turn it into a verb. Large is an adjective. You add en, it becomes enlarge, which is a verb. Can you give me another example of the same type? An adjective that is attached to en and becomes a verb?
Enforce.
Force is a noun, but yes, enforce is a verb, What else?
Yes.
How about an adjective? Shirin, you?
Enable.
Very good, excellent, yes. Able is an adjective. You add en, it becomes enable, which is a verb. Yes, very good. Okay, so enlarge balcony spaces, you understand this. These are the strings that are attached. You take the public font, then you have to do this. You cannot build the building the way you want it. You have to, maybe you will have to enlarge the balcony spaces. Maybe you will have to install solar panels. And then we have columns. And what does it say here after the columns? Shirin, you read this part.
Columns.
Yes. دو نقطه.
Oh, yes.
Well-intentioned demands that nonetheless,
yes, very good.
drive up costs.
Yes. Well-intentioned demands. What does well-intentioned mean?
Well-intentioned,
Do you know the meaning of intention, Shirin? Intention.
Intentionally means purposely.
On purpose, yes. But what does intention mean?
Intentioned, well-intentioned demands. Demand هایی که well-intentioned هستن.
Yes.
Intentioned. خواسته.
Yes, or in Farsi we say niyat, Well-intentioned یعنی حسن نیتی پشتشون بوده. Okay, these demands, these requirements are well-intentioned. حسن نیت پشتشونه. یعنی قصدشون هم بد نیست از این چیزایی که میگن Well-intentioned demands that nonetheless drive up costs. What does nonetheless mean?
Yes.
No. Nonetheless.
Okay, forget about nonetheless. Let's talk about this part. Drive up costs. Can you explain this?
Make it cost.
No.
Drive up in.
Drive up cost means it will increase the expenses, or the costs will go through the roof.
Yes, very good. Yes, very good. It happens fast. So is it drive up costs or drive up costs? Which one is it?
Drive up is the verb.
Yes, very good. Drive up costs. Okay, Shirin, now tell me, what does nonetheless mean in here in this sentence?
Although, for example.
Yes. Yes, in spite of this, nonetheless, although something, you cannot just put although in here. But Shirin, now that you know what nonetheless means, can you explain this part, just this part? Well-intentioned demands that nonetheless drive up costs. Can you explain it in English?
They want to make some costable or affordable needs,
Yes.
but it doesn't happen, and the cost is not low.
Very good.
And
excellent. Yes. And you could say that although these demands are well-intentioned, they drive up the costs. They increase the costs. Nonetheless. Shirin, can you use nonetheless in one sentence? It's a formal word, and it's usually used in formal speech or in writing. It means in spite of something. با این وجود. با وجود چیزی. Okay?
And we use it at the first of the sentence, at the beginning of the sentence, or in the middle, or both of them.
I don't remember any examples in which you can use nonetheless at the beginning. I always saw this in the middle. Okay, I can check that, but I'm sure about the middle part.
I go to the gym every day. Nonetheless, I am gaining weight.
Yes, very good, very good. Okay, Shirin Bezat stole your example. Now you steal something from his field. Okay.
I try to keep her alive. Nonetheless,
yes.
She died.
She died. Okay, very good. Okay, that was good. Okay, let me check to see if you can put it at the beginning.
Okay. Builders need to work with Builders need to work with the patchwork and save again.
Builders need to work with a patchwork of local and state agencies that sometimes impose unclear or inconsistent requirements. سازندگان نیاز دارن که کار بکنن با patchwork.
Okay, there are a lot of pages in here, and if I look at them right now, I'll use up all the time of the class. Okay, I'll write this down nonetheless at the beginning, and the other thing about future perfect, and I tell you next session. Okay, I don't know about the beginning.
No problem. Take your time.
Yeah, for the class. No, okay. Sure, but I want to give you a good answer, and I have to have enough time to, explore different pages. And right now, because we're working on my laptop computer, I can only have access to my mobile phone, and I'm not very comfortable with browsing different pages on my mobile phone. So next session, I'll tell you about this one. So we went so far. So the spaces with small businesses, enlarge the balconies, well-intentioned. Okay, the last line, the last sentence. Would you please read it, Shirin?
Yes. Builders need to work with a patchwork of local and state agencies that sometimes impose unclear or inconsistent requirements.
Very good. Excellent. So builders need to work with a patchwork of local and state agencies. What does patchwork mean?
A group of people
Very good.
who work in local
And state
and,
agencies. Yes, very good.
yes.
There's a good translation for patchwork in Farsi. What is it? It has something to do with embroidery and sewing, which is something that us women deal with. In the old times, a lot of women.
Basle.
Very good. You're close. But patchwork is cheltike. Okay, they had blankets, or what do they call them? Things they use for their pillows, their pillowcases that were patchworks, cheltike. Okay, but in here it just means a group of them. It means groups that may not work together. That's why it's a patchwork. They're not similar to one another, like in Iran. When you want to, for example, build an apartment building, and you want to get the document that says you're the owner, you have to work with a patchwork of agencies. Okay, this agency says, okay, you have to get the signature of blah blah. You go there, they say, okay, we don't do this. You have to do something else. That's what is meant by patchwork. And even in a patchwork for a pillowcase, for your blanket, the ones that our grandmothers used to sew, they were not similar to one another. That's why we called them patchwork. وصل‌پینه یه چیزای مختلف. Okay, there were parts of different fabrics, different clothes, and of course that made them beautiful. One was yellow, one was red, one was green. That was a patchwork. And in here, it means that these organizations, these agencies, do not work together. They're not in harmony. One says something, the other says something else. Okay, that sometimes impose unclear or inconsistent requirements. What does impose mean, Shireen? We had this before.
Force and تحمیل کردن.
Very good. What is the adjective form?
Imposable.
Impediment.
You're saying
imposed.
Yes, very good. Imposed, yes. Like imposed war. جنگ تحمیلی.
Imposable.
And you know the meaning of requirements, right?
Yes.
What does inconsistent mean?
Inconsistent.
Yes.
Inconsistent.
Do you remember consistent, the word consistent being used by me a lot in different classes? I kept telling you, Shireen, be consistent with your tenses. So, no, it doesn't mean دقت کن, no.
Consistency means keep the tense.
Very good.
Keep.
Very good, yes. If you use present simple, just use present simple throughout the class, okay? Of course, that's an example. You don't have to. I mean, that don't make one sentence in present simple, another in present perfect, and then one in the past form, okay? Be consistent with your tenses. Now, in here, we have the opposite. In here makes consistent negative. That's inconsistent. What does it mean when the requirements are inconsistent?
Like misfit.
Yes.
Uneven.
Yes, very good. Can you give me an example of this to explain more? An example about this paragraph. What are the inconsistent requirements he talks about, the writer talks about?
Maybe because of these patchwork of local and state agencies, they impose you to buy some
Wait.
elements.
Did you say they impose you?
They impose, yes.
No, you impose something on somebody. You don't impose someone. You force someone,
Yes.
okay?
Yes. They impose a lot of unnecessary things and requirements to buy.
But what is inconsistent here?
They are not related to each other, or
they are not suitable.
No. What does consistent mean? Consistency is the noun. They say if you want to be successful in something, you have to be consistent.
compatible.
Compatible? No. No. Not compatible.
No. Consistent is the opposite of inconsistent.
Yes.
It means, yes.
For example, if you're a consistent person, you say, okay, I decided to study 10 pages of a new book every day. You do this today, you do it tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. You keep doing it every day for a whole year. You're a consistent person. You're consistent with this commitment. You're consistent with your plans. ثبات پیگیری نیست، ثباته. کنسیستنسی ثباته. کنسیستنت بودن ثبات داشتنه. یعنی همینی که گفتیم تا تهش همینه. Okay? But when they're inconsistent, for example, today they tell you, if you want the permit, you have to enlarge the balcony. You go enlarge the balcony, you come back, you want to get the permit for your second building, for example. They said, no, now the rule has changed. You don't have to enlarge the balcony. Now you have to make it smaller. It means that the rules, the requirements are not consistent. They say something today, they say something else tomorrow. They're not consistent with the rules. ثباتی وجود نداره. این requirement ها یه چیزه. یکسان همیشگی نیستن که بگن خب enlarge the balcony or install solar panels و تمومش مجوز میدیم. نه، امروز یه چیز میگن فردا یه چیز دیگه. این میشه inconsistent بودنش. حالا unclear هم که مشخصه. Alright, now I want ببخشید.
مثلا فلان
Of course, yes, of course, exactly. We have consistent people and inconsistent people. If you're a consistent person, as I just said, you decide to do something, you just do it every day. There are no exceptions. You do according to plan. You act according to plan. If you're inconsistent, you decide, for example, to go to the gym today. Tomorrow, you say, okay, I'm not in the mood. The day after tomorrow, you go, and then you won't go to the gym for another week. Then you go for 2 weeks, you don't go for another month. It means that you're not a consistent person. You don't have consistency.
Okay.
So now I want each of you to take turns reading these 2 paragraphs. Read them slowly. And when you read, try to review in your mind what you learned. Okay? Shirin, you go first.
From where?
From the top, the 2 paragraphs. If I had a hammer.
Okay. If I had a hammer, it is possible to build houses cheaply in the Bay Area.
Yes.
The building at 833 Bryan Street in San Francisco's trendy Soma neighborhood will be unusual. To start with, all the inhabitants of its 146 units will previously have been homeless. Its constituent parts will have been prefabricated, constructed miles away, and fitted together on site like puzzle pieces. Most unusually, the project will have been cheap to build, at least by Bay Area standards.
Standards. Standard, not dart. Yes, standards. Yes.
A report by the Turner Center at the University of California, Berkeley, found that once completed in July, the project will cost 25% less per unit than comparable ones. That is an achievement in California, where per unit construction costs for supposedly affordable housing have ballooned since 2000.
Yes.
There are now the highest in the country. Subsidies for below market rate housing come with strings attached.
No. Shirin, come with strings attached. Okay, come with strings attached, yes.
Affordable developments that take public funds may be forced to install solar panels, contract with small businesses, or enlarge balcony spaces.
Yes.
Well-intentioned demands that nonetheless drive up costs. Builders need to work with a patchwork of local
Wait.
state.
Shirin, it's not patchwork. No, there are no pauses. Patchwork. With a patchwork of local.
With a patchwork of local and state agencies that sometimes impose unclear or inconsistent requirements.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, Bezat, now your turn.
From the beginning?
Yes, from the top, yes.
Yes. If I had a hammer, it is possible to build houses cheaply in the Bay Area. The building at 833 Bryant Street in San Francisco's trendy Soma neighborhood will be unusual. To start with, all the inhabitants of its 146 units will previously have been homeless. Its constituent parts will have been prefabricated, constructed miles away, and fitted together on site like puzzle pieces. Most unusually, the project will have been cheap to build, at least by Bay Area standards. A report by the Turner Center at the University of California, Berkeley, found that once completed in July, the project will cost 25% less per unit than comparable ones.
Yes.
That is an achievement in California, where...
Excuse me, I scrolled up.
Yes. That is an achievement in California, where per unit construction costs for supposedly affordable housing have ballooned since 2000. They are now the highest in the country. Subsidies for below market rate housing come with strings attached. Affordable developments that take public funds may be forced to install solar panels, a contract with small businesses, or enlarge balcony spaces. Well-intentioned demands that nonetheless drive up costs. Builders need to work with a patchwork of local and state agencies that sometimes impose unclear or inconsistent requirements.
Inconsistent requirements, yes. Yes, very good. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, and see you on Wednesday.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mubashir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We
Yes.
like the way you teach.
Thank you very much. I like your consistency with attending the classes, because you attend the classes all the time. That makes it possible to hold the classes. Thank you very much.
Yes, specifically me. I try to attend the class even when I'm asleep.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's understandable because of your job. I know you're on call all the time. That's understandable.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Thank
what
you very
happened to
much.
your plan? Did you get the green light?
I will send a statement based on the report of the interview, and after 1 month, I think they will give me the last decision.
The final decision, you mean, not the last one, the final decision. Okay, when you say last, it means that there are some other, but you mean final. Yes, very good. The final decision. Oh, okay. Okay, wish you the best. Thank you very much. I wish you the best. Okay.
Have a good
you
day.
too, dear. You too. Have a good day and see you next session. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.